Hi, this is Dave Gubberlein with Shotoryu Goshinjutsu, or Kata for self-defense, and this is a karate short. This karate short is going to be on the augmented block, which most of you have in Shotokan and other styles, or a Morote Uke. And I mean these karate shorts to be like a 5-minute explanation. I thought I could quickly cover the augmented block in 5 minutes, and then I pretty soon realized that really it would be a 3 or 4 hour seminar or longer, not 5 minutes. So I'm going to do 3 5-minute videos. The first one is going to be using it in the 2 most obvious methods that most people will be comfortable with, and that is for blocking and striking. So the most basic way, the attacker of course would start relatively close. The most basic way to use this augmented block position is somebody punches, you block and you hit him at the same time. So you're right there. Ideally, you would get to his arm before it gets past his shoulder. This makes him weaker. The further he gets this way, the less chance you have of succeeding. Right? So he launches, boom. Your flinch reflex, pick your hands up, just a little bit of training drives you in. So if you did it this way, you would primarily be in a front stance because getting there is the hardest part. One more time from over here. So here I'm using my fist to strike with, and I'm either using the outside of my arm like a regular block, or the back of both bones, punch again, if I'm in there soon enough. So that is the most obvious way to use this block. The second way is the way that we're introduced to it first in Heian Nidan, and that is you coil and then hit. So if the strike is coming for you and you are moving forward, the coil, the wrap, is the block, then this is strikes, and then you're back to hitting. Here I'm hitting again with my knuckles, probably into a floating rib or somewhere along your thoracic nerve. I'm using my wrist to strike into the side of the neck, although there are other targets too. So he throws the punch, strike, strike, strike. And a knee strike goes just above the knee into the femoral nerve. Over here, please. Throws the punch. 1, 2. Again, I was in a front stance. If the kata is more in a back stance, it tends to mean that I was already in here close enough, and now I'm mostly going to be dropping. Boom. So in that case, this would come down either along the outside of his jaw, which is where I got him with the back of my knuckle here, or it would come down on his chin or nose, again with the back. So this would tend to be 1, 2. On both of these windups, or just on this windup I guess, I can block this off to the side and leave it there, but I can also target this brachioradialis muscle here, just below the elbow. I can knock it down. So that weakens him and makes this a much more vulnerable target when I hit. I would also recommend that if you're going to be in a back stance, have your front heel up. From many practices, I can tell you that with your front heel up, you hit harder from your collarbone up than with your foot planted. Don't know why, it's just the way it is. So quickly, if we look at kata, as I mentioned, in Heian Nidan, you go here, 1, 2, whoops, you go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, then you go 1, 2. Okay, so since most people are right-handed, you have to assume they're punching with the right hand, you cover, you hit, and you go. And this part would be a throw in my move, in my training application, although the reality is that most people you hit this way will be on the ground. They won't be there for you to throw them. You move them back a long ways, even when you don't hurt them. In Heian Sandan, you go from here to here. So that is the more basic one we talked about, block and hit at the same time. Just get in there. So the way the flinch reflex works, fix your hands up to protect your head, both hands. Put your weight on your back leg, and it is more natural to shift away, but less effective. With a little bit of training, use that flinch, come in and hit the guy. Heian Yondan is more of a grapple, but still you can use it the same way as a strike. So you were here and you went block, strike. So I was here, here it comes, block, strike. Same kind of thing. We use it again. Yes, in Heian Yondan we use this all the time. 3 of them in a row, and then one of these. So what I think this is you're actually using it as a block, and maybe a block strike, and then a follow-up strike. So he was here throwing a punch, and in the kata you go 1, 2. 1, I could hit him here, continue forward, 2, hit him there. There's a simplicity to using the same movement for a block and a strike. Doesn't require any decisions on your part, and for all I know, he really got off 2 punches. So he might go 1, 2, that kind of a thing too. That's fine. Go over here for just a second. What was I thinking of here? Doesn't matter. So on 1, you go 1, 2. On the second one, you go 1, 2, 3. Strike with your knee. So it gives you an alternate follow-up. This is a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You prefer to go like that. It just fits the situation better. Heian Godan. 1, 2. Here, with the double tap from the kick and the elbow strike, you bent him over pretty good. That makes this a heck of a target. So I'm going to shift my weight and drop it down on there. And then the next thing is he'd be falling. So I'm going to pick him up and toss him on the ground. But this is a wonderful series to understand. 1, 2. Can you see that? Sure. 1, 2. One more time this way. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Grab, lift. Just quickly, in some of the advanced kata, you do the augmented block in different positions. So far, you could pick out any of the stances where you either go like this or you go like this, and it's going to be the same thing as I just showed you. Then you get to Jion, and you do this. Same idea. He's going to throw a punch at me. I don't want to get hit in the head. This is his strongest place to be. I cannot be here. I could move away, but he'd allow him to continue. So I want to try to move in. So I'm going to move in and up, and as I do it, I'm going to come across his head and strike. So that's this one move, 1, 2. Practice it on both sides. I think we're going to stop with there. The other 2 videos on the augmented block that I'm going to do are going to feature using the augmented block in a way that is grappling, and there are many, many, many ways to use it for grappling. And the last one will be augmented blocks that you don't necessarily think are augmented blocks right now. And it turns out there's a lot of positions that are augmented blocks that we don't normally think of that way. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this helps.